I just hope they stick to their game plan and don't change too much or listen to. I mean, listening to the community is good with suggestions and ideas, but in a way, not in a way where it actually changes the core game.
What's going on, folks, and welcome to another Scum video. I hope everybody is safe and well. Now, I just want to show a bit of respect to the developers over the last several months. Obviously, the world has been a bit of a crazy place right now, so there has been a bit of time off with the development of the game, and I just want to show and tell people that that has been the case. So development has been a little bit slow in what's going on. Now, I'm with a couple of guys here at the minute, and we just want to talk about currently where the game is, how much PvP is in the game, how much PvE is in the game, and maybe some of the features that are going to be coming in as well. Because there's a lot of controversy going around at the minute, especially on the Steam forums and the Reddit forums, on exactly what's happening with Scum. Where is Scum going? Right now, personally, I feel it might be diving into the PvP area a little bit and kind of like, you know, catering to a lot of the people that are shouting out in the community for these things, and to some extent, the developers kind of jumping at that, at some of them comments and stuff like that. Like I said, I've got nothing against any of the developers or anything like that. This is our opinions on where the game's going. Now, one of the guys I got here is an admin on a very popular server, the server that's been out for the last 2 years. So she understands how players work, what they usually do, the routines of these characters. And there's nothing she hasn't really seen. She's seen more than what players actually see with the amount of stuff that she does on the servers. So, considering everything that's really been going around on YouTube and on the forums recently, I wanted to talk a little bit about the PvE and where the game's going. So, currently at the minute, there's a bit of controversy on the base building. We understand to some extent the base building did hold the developers back from getting a lot of stuff done. But at the same time, if you look at the way PvE and PvP works, yes, base building will bring PvP because you're naturally going to get them raids. You're going to have the features to protect your base, which is the IEDs, but then they decided to actually put them global, and you can actually place IEDs anywhere except they were supposed to be base defense only. So there's a lot of people that are screaming that they're griefing servers and stuff and all that, which I, to some extent, would agree with. You know, I personally do think that IDs should really just sort of be stuck to base defenses, but that's a whole nother conversation. But at the same time as well, you get players that will turn around and they'll say, hey, you know, players will just stay in their bases. Well, guess what? That's actually a part of the PvE system as well, because players can do stuff just like what we're doing here, chilling out by the fire, hanging out with our friends. That's what gaming's all about, right? This is what the game's about. It's not constantly about going out and PvPing. But I think some people do seem to forget that this game is supposed to be a open world survival with PvP elements. So we've been talking about for the last couple of hours, and this is why, guys, we've decided to put this video out. It's one of them videos where we just kind of want to say things how they are and where they're going. Now, there has been a lack of PvE in the game for quite some time, over a year ago, and I will be showing these on the screen at the same time. There's been a lack of the cooking features, little things like that. There's people out there that love the cooking, and something that's more PvE orientated rather than catering to more PvP. Because when you start seeing more PvP, that's when you're kind of going away from PvE, and the game is supposed to be going survival, which there is a lack of at the moment. Now, Main Street, we were talking about cooking earlier on, wasn't we? We was talking about the cooking. Yeah. We was talking about the way, you know, some of the way bases are built, what features are in base building and stuff like that. But I do really think there's, you know, a lot that needs to be done with this game to get it to the point. People bought this game for PvE. What's your standpoint on the current state? Because in my opinion, it's very PvP focused. We've just had a massive patch, 0.4, tons of new animations, tons of new weapon mechanics, animations and stuff like that. But what's your standpoint? How do you see... I mean, obviously, you can't give anything away being an admin of a server, but how do you see players? What do you see with the players? How do you see the game currently? Do you see it more PvP, PvE orientated? What's your standpoint?
Well, first of all, I mean, I don't think I'm alone when I say that when I bought this game, what really got me caught was the metabolism and, you know, the maintaining your character and stuff like that, because I'm I've never seen anything like that in a game. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
And that's what
when
they
it
wanted
comes
from the
to,
start, wasn't it? They wanted the metabolism in.
yeah, but I mean, it's a game in development. We all pretty much understood and understand that we have to wait for some things, but uh, the devs said in the beginning as well that since, because of the lack of things to do,
Yeah.
it was more catered to the PvP, or because that was basically the only thing players could do,
That was in
unless
the
they
game at
wanted,
the time. Yeah.
yeah, unless they wanted to do like I did and explore the map. But uh, but the thing is, it seems like now, almost 2 years after, um, it's still more focused on PvP rather than the
Yeah.
PvE um, that
C-
I understood it would be from the beginning. And
completely agree.
yeah,
Completely agree with that. Yeah. Because
and
especially with the boats and stuff like that, like the boats that they were saying that were going to come in,
yeah,
um,
there were. I don't
fishing.
remember when the fishing. Yeah, that was said. I don't remember if that was like end of 2018 or beginning of 2019. But there was a lot of hype about the fishing and the boats. But what we got was the shipwrecks, and
Yes,
still no fishing.
I
And
remember
I
that.
know, personally, I'm not too much into fishing, but ever since the beginning, I've heard, you know, players here and there talk about it and how much they want it,
Right.
because this isn't a PvP game, it is a PvE game, and people wants to do those things. They want to sit in their bases and they want to hoard stuff and sit in their bases and, you know, sort their loot and whatever they probably fished.
Well,
You know,
it's their choice, isn't it?
yeah,
If they wanna play the game in that way, then they can play the game in that way. You know, when you get
yeah,
players, and I see it a lot on the forums. I see it a lot on the forums, and you check the forums out probably as much as I do because you're
yeah,
keeping up to date with everything that's going on and what the community are after and what they're not after and what they like and don't like about certain patches. We probably read more than most people, and you do see it all the time. There's
yeah,
PvP players out there that moan that people sit in their bases all the time. Well, this is a big part of PvE. You hang out in your base.
it
You
is,
go out when you need to. Now, I just want to throw this in there. Something like this well over here. I personally
yeah,
think that shouldn't be in the crafting menu because it's another way to keep players in their base. I mean, I don't know what your opinion would be based on that, but it's another way to keep players in the base and stop them from going out and having to search and go and collect water. I mean, you can collect water in bottles and stuff like that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's little things like that. It's like, if you don't want people in bases, then you don't need to put something like this in, you know, that keeps
not
players
just
around.
for the keeping players in the bases, but I
Yeah.
mean, for the survival aspect, you should probably have to go to like a river or a lake and get some water. But maybe you could have some container instead,
Mm-hmm.
just like the gas cans,
Yeah.
to bring home some water.
Yeah,
But
no,
they should,
I've got you.
yeah, but they should be like big enough so you can't really um, hoard them, or you know, you shouldn't be able to grab like 5 of those
No, of
and
course. Yeah, yeah,
collect
yeah.
water. But
So
yeah,
what would you say? What would you say on this? There's a lot of rumours going around. I'm hearing anyway. You might have seen some about people wanting segregated sectors, so the server owners and admins get more choice on what happens to the server. I mean, personally, for me, I don't understand why server owners get every single option. Like, what's the point? And we were talking about this earlier on. I'm quite passionate about this point, actually. I'm going to have a moment here, by the way. But what is the point in spending all that time developing mechs just to give someone the option to turn it off? It's a part of the game Scum. Otherwise, if you turn it off, you might as well literally go and play DayZ. It's a big part of the game. The devs work their butts off in trying to get this stuff working with the pathfinding, getting the mechs to actually interact with the players. There's a lot of programming and coding going on just in that little section to get them to work and collaborate together in the game. Why would they give people, server owners, sorry, the option to turn stuff like that off? I can understand servers, and I know there's going to be a lot of controversy out there, probably in the comments about this, but I understand that everyone wants a different server to play on, a different style. I mean, that's fair enough, but don't take out core features of what makes Scum Scum.
Exactly. I mean, you buy a game, you look at the game, what's in it and what's not.
Yeah.
But this is a game in development. But there are things in the game that are supposed to be here because it's the game.
Yeah.
Like the mechs and like the fame drones. The fame drones are there to annoy you. The mechs are there to protect the military bases. It's not going to be a walk in the park to get to that.
Well said there. They're there to, the drones are there to annoy you, and that's the thing. And I just want to quickly add in that as well with the drones. You know, someone on the forum the other day was complaining about it, which I was saying to you guys earlier on, that they'd spent 2 hours prepping a raid. They get outside the base, they're just about to attack, and then one of them gets a drone on them and then gets seen by someone from the base, and then they get shot. Which
tough luck.
it is tough luck, because one, it's a part of the game, and two, if you turn it around if you turn the coin over, that could have happened to them and you would have spotted where they were. You were just unlucky at that time. So you can use drones to your advantage by using them and looking out for them as you're traveling across the map to see where these drones are going up and down, because they're going up and down like yo-yos all around the map, going onto players, then going up in the sky, then going back down again. So there is an advantage and a disadvantage to those drones, and they are very frustrating. We all have our moments with them, but they're there to keep it spicy, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I look at it like they're supposed to be there to annoy you, because since I bought this game, I've looked at this game kind of like a Hunger Games game. So naturally a survival game, but also with elements of PvP, but not entirely a PvP game like a lot of people seem to think.
Yeah.
And getting back to a little bit what you said before, because it's like in the beginning when there wasn't much to do, it was a lot of PvP, but it's kept going for the PvP, and it just keeps like growing for the PvP, and it's almost like
completely.
those players bring their friends and they tell them, okay, buy this game and come in and PvP, and they have no clue what the game is really about. They just see the PvP and not the survival. Where is the survival? I know a lot of people ask for it, like, where is our PvE stuff?
Yeah, where's the boats? Where's the fishing? We know the metabolism is going to be coming in this year at some point. I mean, from what we're hearing.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. But where is all this PvE stuff? You know, there's so much PvP going on in the game. You know, open world survival, elements of PvP. Right now, it is massively feeling like way more PvP than PvE. Now, there's around, from what I heard, there's over 2 million people that have bought this game. 2 million. That is a ton of players. Yeah. And a lot of them are waiting for the PvE elements, and especially the metabolism alone. And that metabolism is going to make you change the way you play the game by deciding how you're going to do a raid. It's not all about the raids, but how you're going to do a raid, how you're going to travel from A to B in a town. You know, how careful you're going to be when you get hit by a puppet. You got to be really careful, because if you break a leg, you might need a splint in the future. We don't know what's going to be coming with that, but that's going to be a huge patch alone. The metabolism system is going to be big. It's going to be huge for the game, because that's what makes this game unique. Dust, what's your thoughts on everything? How are you perceiving the game as a player right now?
In regards to metabolism or just PvE in general?
PvE, PvP. How do you see the game? How do you play the game as a player? Try and keep it a little condensed, but how do you play the game as a player in here, and how do you perceive it?
Doing everything PvE necessary to be able to go PvP. That's how I play the game. Is I work up, get my base, get everything in the environment together, so that I can go out and hunt other players. Because currently in the state that it's in now, there's not really end game content other than PvP for the end.
Yeah.
That's all there really is to do at its current stage. I mean, I do want to see more PvE. I want to see hunting. I want to see more tracking stuff. There's tons of PvE elements that they could add to it, but
Hmm.
as of how I play the game personally, yeah, I build my character, I top up all my stuff, my vitamins, and then I go out and I hunt players and I try to get gear and explore the map, run around and check out where all the bases are, who's doing what, who's moving in. Um, yeah, and then it just turns into the meta of it revolves because there's no serious PvE elements that really, draw me in that I need to do, fundamentally need to. Whereas
Yeah.
PvP it's funner. It's just a more inclusive and fun experience. It gets the adrenaline going, you're out hunting people, and that's fun for me. PvE is fun, but it's only fun when I have goals to work towards. And most of the goals are easily met in PvE because there's not enough content in it right now.
It seems like there's a lot of like military combat stuff going on with the game, and from what I'm hearing, could be coming to the game to some extent. With the way that the developers are working around with squads, and it's a very hard job for the devs. I don't want to give them a hard time with this video. I personally think this is a very respectful and constructive conversation that we're all having about this. But I do think that they need to they can't forget the original roadmap with the game. They have to
Yeah.
stick to the survival, because that is where the consumer base, that's the consumer for this game, is survival.
The survival game, yeah.
It's a
I
survival.
sometimes feel a little bit confused, like, or are the devs confused, or what's going on with the game? Because right now I'm not sure what game I bought. Did I actually buy a survival game or just another fucking PUBG? Sorry,
No, exactly.
swearing, but
No, I completely fucking agree. You know.
Fuck yeah.
no,
um,
but
but you're not the only
it's
one, mainstream.
I'm not sure what I.
You're not the only one. You hit the nail on the head. Like we were talking about earlier on, you hit the nail on the head. People don't know what games they're buying right now, because you look at the top servers in Scum. It's 0.4. It's far away from being completed, and everyone's playing. Well, most people are playing
Yeah.
a different game to what the game is being developed, because right now most systems, most servers are using a bot system. I didn't want to get into the bots, but that kind of progresses in, because it's actually one of the most popular played servers out there, where basically, for anyone who's watching this video now doesn't understand, it's basically a little bot that works in game, and you can have stuff sent to you. The longer you play on that server, the more of these like coins that you make through Discord, and you can order a bot to send you stuff. Now, we like to call it Scumazon. Because that's basically what it's like. There's a lot of people who sit around in bases, they go and raid bases, and they're just literally ordering lockpicks, straight to these
Little
bases.
Walmart.
It doesn't make sense that a lot of people are playing the game in, which is strictly for PvP. I mean, these bots are strictly PvP. There's no survival in this bot system stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's a very clever system, and the person who made it has done a great job for how it works. But while Scum is still in development, it's completely changed the way the game is for a lot of players, and some players don't even know what Scum really is all about, because all they know is these bot servers that are being around, which isn't doing the devs any favors at all, because they're trying to create one game and the players are turning it into something else.
Yeah, it's kind of grooming players into thinking it's like 100% PvP, and
Yeah.
I mean it's not really the server's fault. That's not what I'm saying. It's more what I talked about earlier with new players coming in, and so they would naturally go where their friends are playing, and so usually it's the top servers, and
Yeah.
And they get kind of groomed into thinking that this is what it's about, just running around squad fighting
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it's not, and they have no clue about all the other stuff. And when they see the PV stuff, they're probably gonna be like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, it's a very confusing. It's like kind of.
It's confusing, yeah.
It's like going on a first date and getting mixed feelings. You're not sure. You know, it's like that. It's like when you've been on a first date, you get home and you're either like, I don't know what's going on here. Is she or he batshit crazy, or am I? You know, because you're kind of trying to work. You're trying to work it out. And even after 2 years, and we've all been very dedicated to this game. You know, you've been very dedicated to this game as a player and as an admin on one of the top servers, and myself obviously making content and doing streams on the daily. You learn a lot from that. You learn a lot by being, you know, it's almost like a lifestyle for us to some extent. We see, yeah, well, you see what the players do, and I see everything from my point of view as a player. And you do start to notice certain patterns and stuff. But to try and move this to a sort of ending, so to speak, I just want to quickly cover one thing that we haven't actually gone over. I haven't actually got any notes here. I'm just kind of like doing this all off my head. So please bear with me, guys. Hunting. I wanted to quickly go on hunting. So hunting's another PvE thing. There's a lot of players that love PvE who enjoy the hunting side. Now, I'm about to show you some footage here on the screen from a stream the other day when I was trying to fight a bear, and I decided that I was going to shoot it. I didn't really have a choice. And then it just decided to take off about probably about 100 foot in the air or something like that, and then like appear behind me. Now, when you've got these sort of issues with the animals, like glitching around and stuff like that, it doesn't make it very fun for those who enjoy hunting. Now, there's millions of people out there who will literally just play games for hunting because they love that side of it. But if it's not done well and they're glitching in and out, it doesn't make it fun. Do you know what I mean? There is some issues with that need to be worked on. Not worrying about what sectors to open and close on a map, what guns to put into the game, or even some other features that are just do not need to be worked on, but focusing on what needs to be fixed and more
the core elements. Yeah.
The core elements of what's in the game need to be smoothed out, and any other PvE stuff that's going to be coming into the game. Because 0.4 was a great patch. It was a very good patch, and it still needs a couple of hot fixes in my eyes. Obviously, the issue with the shotgun. But again, for anyone watching, this is a constructive video. This is our opinions only on... But obviously, we do have many, thousands of hours in the game since the day of release. We've been with this game since the day of release. So I think to some extent we're entitled to some of the stuff that we are saying because we haven't missed one single patch. You could go through all my videos. You'll see all the patches there, every patch Scum's ever done. And you guys will see that there. So it's kind of like we're very passionate about this game and we want to see this game do well. And that's why I've stuck by it, created content for it. I want to push this game out there because it's a unique game. It's the first game that Gamepires has actually made in terms of survival, where their previous game was Gas Guzzlers, which was a driving style game, which is on Steam as well. A little bit of promotion out there for Gas Guzzlers. And you can actually see that promoted in this game. In the set, you'll see banners for Gas Guzzlers if you didn't know that. But yeah, so the hunting is something that really does need to be fixed because I quite enjoy the hunting side of things, and right now it's not,
a lot of people do.
A lot of people do, and it's not the most enjoyable when you start chasing an animal and it starts to take off, starts cruising at like 35,000 feet, and you know.
And at the same time, the bears really need to be more aggressive and dangerous.
Yes.
They have to.
They have to be terrifying. They should be terrifying. That's one of the roaming threats. Right now, they're a joke, and that's just the truth.
Yeah.
Like I was streaming the other day, and I was attacking a bear with a sword, and it was just running away from me, just running and running and running. I was like, you don't want to play.
It needs to bite off your arm.
Yeah, completely.
Metaphorically speaking, yeah.
Yeah.
Really hope they fix that.
Dust, is there anything you want to add?
I mean, we could go on and on about problems and solutions, but at the end of the day, it's just adding more survival-esque things. It's a prisoner island survival game. PvP is going to happen regardless if you like it or not, but fix the issues that are in the core, and everything else will, get better after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. It's a great game. I like I said, thousands of hours playing it.
Oh, I love. Oh, yeah, we love the game. We absolutely love the game, but we want to see it go in the way that they sold it for. You know, they sold
Yeah.
it for survival. We want to see survival. We know the
Yeah.
metabolism's going to take time, and the metabolism was actually going to be put in like a few months ago.
I
But
think it was with the city update.
no, it
They
was
took it out last minute, wasn't it?
it was the engine update because they was going to.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, the first time.
oh, the first time it might have been the city update. Yeah, you're right. And then
Yeah.
I think they were going to do it again with the engine, but then they realised
Yeah.
they were changing the engine and they didn't want to have to fix everything again. So it kind of made sense to get the engine model right and then work on the metabolism, so there's not so many patches and fixes to do for it, which makes sense. It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't waste time doing that. I'd wait until we got everything ready and then, build it up from there. But
I just hope they stick to their game plan and don't change too much or listen to. I mean, listening to the community is good with suggestions and ideas, but in a way, not in a way where it actually changes the core game.
yeah, no,
It's just what I
I
wanted to.
completely agree with you, and that was bloody well said, because that is exactly it. That is exactly it. Right, I think we're going to leave it there. Ladies and gents, for anyone who's endured this 30-odd minute video, well done. Pat on the back for you guys. And thanks for listening to our suggestions and everything that we've been talking about here on the video. We don't usually do videos like this. This is a bit of a one-off, kind of like, hey, look, we're all players. We're still here. We're still supporting the game, supporting the developers. It's been a rough year. It really has. For a lot of people all around the world, so we can't expect too much from the developers right now, same as with anywhere in the world. So thank you very much, guys. Please don't forget to smash that thumbs up on your way out, and maybe throw us a little follow as well. I'd appreciate that if you want to keep up with the streams and all the videos and anything to do with Scum and survival. So look after yourselves, guys. Stay safe, peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.